Hi, Dan Harrigan here. As a member of Access Tucson, we like to cover the local events. We have a special historic situation happening here. When you folks purchase a ticket for a theatrical performance, when that curtain goes up, you're transported to that city. In this case, it's a small town in Italy. We, on the other hand, put the pieces of equipment and materials together to create that image to make you travel. The irony is when a piece of equipment or a set piece or a fly, a piece of fabric that's been painted, becomes too old and unusable, it's worked out of service and replaced by something new. What we have here tonight is an example of that particular occurrence happening. Lots of pieces of this gear and all of these set pieces, not all of them, but a goodly number of these scene pieces are going to be dismantled tonight and just made to go away. I'm at the music hall in downtown Tucson with the technical director from Arizona Opera, Peter Nola. He's here in town from Phoenix to do Tosca, a fine piece of opera. I want Peter Nola to tell us the story of the set from Tosca.
What we see here is really an old piece of art, one that was built with some old-fashioned design methods from the early time of the past century, and I really admire all of the style, how it was created here, and it's a real honor for all of us stage hands and worker on this piece to have to be witness of how long quality work can last over the years. So I'm feeling for many pieces, they will be only built for a couple of performances and then they will be thrown away. But you have to imagine this set here survived over 60 years of hundreds of different cities, hundreds of different performances in opera halls. And with this knowledge, I really admire this set today. Yeah, I feel very sad about it, basically, to throw it away, but we will make place for something new on stage for the next performances. So that's what we see here are three different settings for this opera, Tosca, which was written at the end of the 19th century from Giacomo Puccini. And this room where I'm in right now is the last act, the one where the main character of this show gets shot, and Tosca has her famous suicide from jumping off the walls of the prison. The acts before, what you will probably see, and the close-ups that you are going to see here are the apartment of the police chief of this Italian city, and the first one is the little family church where one of the characters is hidden of the police and of the justice. Yeah, so what we see here is really the old-fashioned style to treat flat walls and with a kind of particular painting to make it so alive and so plastic that it's really unbelievable. So I'm standing here next to a wall painted out of canvas
and
plywood.
1x3s.
And it looks so solid. Every rock looks like a real rock, even from very close. That is a kind of some really living sculpture that we are in here, and I admire this technique a lot. Look at the details here. This is some old Roman architecture where they put some little flies on it. Everything has this kind of aging on it. So because we are playing here, this castle, this little this castle where this plays here is should be probably like 300 years old, and so it needs to have this old. We need to see all the weather and the temperatures that went through these walls, and this is an amazing painting technique what I admire. This set was built in 1945 from the New York City Opera. I don't know if they intended at this time that the set will live this long, but it did, and the back walls, as you see, they look much different than from the front, where you see the aging much better. You have to imagine, over the last 60 years, there were thousands of people touching these walls and loading it into trucks, loading it out of trucks. And it's just some very thin canvas, so it suffered a lot over the years, but everybody tried to keep the picture clean so that every audience, even 60 years later, will have the original feeling of sitting in the opera. And this is what we have to pay to the audience. We have to show them every performance as if they are the first ones who see the set. No, this is what I want to achieve with this set here, so we cared very well with it. Every single little hole was closed again, and we tried to repair whatever we could. Tonight, though, many of these things will have their final end. So this, for example, these are the walls of the second act. It shows a rich interior of a rich person, also in Italian style. So the scenic designer, who also was the painter of the scenery here, tried to show the audience the big impression of a great room. So we have rich doors, and they are really heavy. They are not out of canvas. They are real closing doors out of massive wood. So we have a lot of weight to carry around, but the set is really built to be able to. Here, this is how we store the first act. That's the first act, the interior of the church, which should show a metal fence out of, in this case it's built out of wood, but from the audience you really have the impression that you have some nice worked, detailed wood that shows you that these wooden flats here, they appear three-dimensional to everybody in the audience. We had 2 trucks. All of that fits in 2 trucks.
Wow.
And tonight we return only with 1 truck. So we only can keep what fits in 1 truck. So basically, we keep the basic units, so like this towers and wagons on wheels that we can use again for other operas. But basically the scenery, the decorated part, will end here in Tucson. So the next Tosca will be played in a different set.
I would like to thank Peter Nola for coming in and explaining the story and talking about some of the history of the production. It's been a pleasure working with him. This is the Arizona Opera. My hat's off to you folks. Thanks for letting us come down and do some footage here. And also City of Tucson, Tucson Music Hall for letting us come in and wander around. So this is our last performance with a goodly bit of this scenery and such. It'll be kind of sad, like Peter was saying, but there will be other scenery built. And thank you, and it's a pleasure having you here joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.